All right. Hello and good evening, everybody who is watching. Well, I know it's 6:15. I bet you thought we weren't going to have Tuesdays with Tamika, but we are. So, hello and good evening. I am Tamika Walker Kelly, your favorite music teacher and president of the North Carolina Association of Educators, NCAE. It is another Tuesday, so it is time for another Tuesdays with Tamika. I am very, very excited to have my guest on today. I have House Representative and NCAE member Linda Cooper-Suggs with us today. She is running for re-election in North Carolina's 24th House District. So I'm going to bring her up to say hello and good evening to the people. So Representative Linda Cooper-Suggs, you can say hello to our audience today.
Hello, Tamika. First, thank you so much for your leadership, and to all of my colleagues, to all of my fellow teachers. I just want to say hello to you this afternoon and to thank you for what you do each and every day for our children.
Well, thank you so much, Representative Cooper Suggs. We are glad that you are our guest tonight on Tuesdays with Tamika. So, I wanted you to join me tonight because you bring a unique perspective to the North Carolina General Assembly as a former teacher and current NCAE member. You bring a lot of insight to the work that you do with your colleagues in the North Carolina General Assembly. So before we get into that piece though, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and your background?
Thank you, Tamika, for allowing me to be here this evening. I am Representative Linda Cooper Suggs, and as she says, House District 24, representing both Wilson County, and the Sharpsburg area of Nash County. I grew up in Eastern North Carolina, so therefore I grew up in an agricultural community. My mom, my dad, and my six brothers. I know what it's like to work hard, to get up, to take out work in tobacco, to harvest all of those products so that you can in turn buy your school clothes. I know what it's like to do that. I grew up also with a strong work ethic from my parents and my strong religious values too, because living in the heart of the country and you only went to town on Saturdays, you created another way of life and you became so immersed in the small community that I was in. The other part of it is that I went off to North Carolina A&T State University, graduated 3.5 years, magna cum laude. And then I came to Wilson, North Carolina. I've been in Wilson approximately 50 years. And my degree was in home economics, now family and consumer sciences, called family and consumer sciences. And I taught in a local place before the school systems merged. And that was a long time ago. I continued my career for almost over 30 plus years in teaching. I received a master's from East Carolina University. I became the first African American National Board Certified teacher in Wilson County, and career and technical education the first year that area was started. So therefore, and then I continued to work. I was involved not only in with my students and their parents, but I always felt that the larger community was important. So exposing our children to those things that they would not normally see in Wilson, North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina. My thing was to make sure that my students got to see Raleigh, believe it, and the museums and all of those things, to attend not only class instruction, but to be involved in FCCLA so that they could be a part of the district, the regional, the state, and also to attend national conferences. So all of that was extremely important to me. I retired 15 years ago.
Mhm.
I retired from the school system, but I never stopped because I continued as a consultant for Wilson County Schools. And I retired from Wake County Schools. I left my heart right here in Wilson, but I came back to work in Wilson after retirement and to work with all levels, elementary, middle, and high school students. So what I did not know about the middle and high school, the elementary school structure, I learned firsthand.
Mhm.
To me, being a part of the bigger community, serving on your working with your professional organizations, serving on these committees that's within your school district, all of that's important. And I know you guys face so much more than what we face today. But that's me, Tamika. That's part of who I am. And I eventually went to the North Carolina General Assembly, where I never even thought about being a part of. But thank you so much for having me.
Well, I that's so exciting. So shout out to our CTE educators out there. And we are so glad to have family and consumer sciences up front with you representing us. And also shout out to being a Carolina Pirate Go Pirates, as I am an alumna herself, and also you are an alumna of North Carolina A&T State University. So Aggie Pride, shout out to all the Aggies out there. So we take our love for our historically Black colleges and universities very, very seriously here at NCAE. And so all of that, thank you for sharing your story with us. So I do have a question, teacher to teacher, educator to educator. Can you tell NCAE members why it is so important and essential to have public education supporters in the General Assembly?
Tamika, it's important for public educators to be in the General Assembly because we understand the needs. We understand the purposes of educating all of our children, but we understand that everything is interrelated within a school system, from our students, their parents, our teachers, the support staff, as well as, the administrative staff. One without the other would not work.
Mm-hmm.
The public administrators do not understand what it's truly like to be a teacher. They don't understand unless they have a spouse or someone very close to them who works not only, from 8 to 5. The job is not from 8 to 3 or 8 to 2 or 8 to 4, whatever your school system's time is, or 7 to whatever time it may be. The job is the whole purpose of the way we think is just like an objective.
Mm-hmm.
We know why we're there. We know that we have all of these children who come from a diverse background. And our job is to move them from point A to point B, all the way to point Z. Keeping in mind that we're social workers, we're parents, we're teachers, and we bring it together in a fun way, in a joyful way. My colleagues do not understand why, when they gave teachers a 5% pay raise for 2 years, they thought that was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is not. It isn't. We have not yet reached a minimum wage, not a livable wage, but just a minimum wage for all of our support staff. And we're looking at 2023. They don't understand that with us being out even the month during the summer months. And I've heard some of them even comment about it, that teachers get this vacation. We have time off, but we don't get a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
All the complexities of being able to go into that school system, having the resources that we should have but don't have, but still moving those students forward and communicating with their parents. My colleagues don't always understand that. For teachers not to be paid for masters, how can you be a part of an educational system? And we encourage education, but we don't respect it.
Mm-hmm.
Longevity. Those are the things that I'm going to continue to fight for within the legislature. But they don't understand this. It's almost, to me, it's ludicrous. But it's our job to continue to work, to fight. And every time, Tamika, every time I see you, when I see NCAA members on walking those halls, that's important. The year I saw all the red that came to Raleigh, and I was there as a legislator or for some other reason, and my heart was to be in that red as a retired teacher, because I'm still a part of my retired professional association. But that's the reason why we need educators in that system. From when our childs are in utero to pre-K programs, through from kindergarten all the way through high school, our post-secondary, whether it's with community college, or whether they're going into an apprenticeship program, internship program, we need to be there to explain this. They don't understand it. They don't, but they think they know it.
That's that's the key, and I am so glad that you highlighted for the people watching, but also that you continue to highlight for your colleagues in the General Assembly how nuanced and how complex it is to run school on a day-to-day basis from all of our roles, from ESP to our certified teachers to our administrators. Shout out to National Principals Month, to all the way to all of our administrators. So thank you for making that clear and encouraging educators like yourself to run for public office because we need more voices in decision making bodies, right?
Right. That's right.
Um, so one of the things that you said is that you are working to restore master's pay and longevity pay in the General Assembly for our North Carolina educators. What other issues and policies will you focus on when, not if, but when you're reelected to the General Assembly as the representative from House District 24?
Well, the first issue should be pay increases, a salary increases that's based on that's equal for all levels, from a beginning teacher with zero experience all the way to those who have the seasoned teachers. Whenever I saw this pay scale, 15 to 24 years of experience with the same salary increase, and then maybe like $100 more, to me that's something we have to continue to fight for. And we're looking at in eastern, even in eastern North Carolina and some other areas, it's hard for us to recruit and retain our teachers.
Mhm.
So we have to be equitable in what we are doing in regards to salaries for all teachers who live in all areas of North Carolina. Something else that I would do also, mental health issues. I would definitely work to incorporate more mental health, not only for assistance for the students, but psychologists, with our nurses within every school, teacher assistants, but also for our teachers as well, to make sure that they stay mentally healthy. And I know oftentimes we may have to take, excuse me, to make a mental health day every so often. Even when
Mhm.
I was in school, my friends would tell me all about it, and they schooled me on that and the reason why. But all of those things are important. Teacher assistants, not only for every classroom, not just one teacher assistant, to be shared. Nurses within our school system, all of those are needed. The psychologists, once again, they are needed within the school system, so that we will be able to have that cooperative, that interrelationship once again, in helping to what is it, to educate the whole child,
Mhm.
keep our teachers healthy at the same time, and our administrators healthy at the same time. I think one other thing that we need to look at also will be programs, continued programs with our CTE programs, and how we can move our children can students can still continue to take their academic courses, but yet and still, uh, in my area, ServSafe certification, my students receive their ServSafe certification, still having fun within the classroom. So to have more certifications for those students, and to bring back some of the what is it, the programs within the school system, such as HVAC,
Mhm.
heating, air conditioning, all of those. Because I know that within my area, within this area, those programs were taken out of our school system.
Mm.
Masonry, those, all of those are trades that could that students who are interested in those fields, just such as cosmetology, they can make truly, not just a, they can live well
Mhm.
this day and time, to teach entrepreneurship, so that they can in turn start early learning and being able to apply all of those skills. So those are just a few of the things that I would definitely work on during this cycle, during the next cycle my next cycle in General Assembly. But I want to tell you guys something. Whenever I first entered the General Assembly, I was instructed to choose my five committees that I wanted to serve on, and my number one committee was education. It was not given to me. They gave me everything else, but not education.
Mm.
But I still meet with the education committee. I work with them. I talk to the other members to make sure they understand and hear about longevity, master's pay, and many of those other things.
Well, we definitely appreciate that because we do like Representative Cooper-Suggs says. Now, most people in the legislature are assigned a committee. They get to pick their preferences, but they are assigned a committee. And so you going across aisle and throughout the General Assembly to talk to your colleagues and give them the education perspective is really, really important. And thank you for highlighting the need of more mental health support services in our schools, from more school nurses, school psychologists, school counselors, for not only the students, but for the educators too, because educator burnout is real. And
Mhm.
and your colleagues, my colleagues can tell you that is a very real thing that we are experiencing in our schools. So we are coming up on our time together, but I do have one last final question, Representative. It's a question that I usually ask all of our guests that come on Tuesdays with Tamika, and it's probably the most important one. So we are really only 20 plus days from Election Day, November, and early voting starts this week. Voting by mail has already started. So, what is your voting plan?
My voting, you mean strategies that we're using?
Well, are you going to early vote? Are you going to vote by mail? Are you going to wait till election day? What's your voting plan?
I'm going to vote early, and I'm debating between the first day and souls to the polls Sunday,
Okay. Okay.
Wilson County.
Yes, yes, yes. Lots of communities do souls to the polls. So if you are wanting to go and you don't want to go vote alone, you can go hang out with souls to the polls and go out and do that. Those are very fun things. Are you going to go alone? Are you going to go with family? What are you going to do?
I'm going to go with my family, and this time it will be my church family. And
Awesome.
if I vote early, if I vote on Thursday, and which I really don't think I'm going to, then I'll carry some of my workers with me, volunteers on my campaign. I will carry some of them with me.
Awesome.
I'm
Awesome. Well,
I voted button proudly.
yes, because we love a good selfie with the I voted sticker. So to you, our members, we encourage you to take your I voted selfie, of course. And if you are watching this, it is your turn. As we said, early voting starts on Thursday, October 20th, like Representative Cooper Suggs did. And so, whichever route that you choose, we want you to know all of your choices to cast your vote and use your voice in this election because a vote is an action and we want you to participate. Democracy is not a spectator sport. So you can vote by mail, you can early vote, or you can wait until November 8th and vote on election day. And if you want to check out our pro public education endorsement, you can check out the October edition of our NCAE news bulletin. And our website will be up soon. I know you heard me say it 2 times in a row, but I promise you it will be up soon so that you can see all of our pro public education candidates. So, Representative Linda Cooper says we are out of time for today, but I want to thank you for being our NCAE endorsed candidate for North Carolina House District 24 and an NCAE member. Shout out to NCRSP. Are there any last things that you want to say to our audience this evening?
I just want to say thank you to NCAE for your endorsement and all that you're doing. And to all of the teachers, I would say get involved. To our educators, those persons on here, get involved. Become a part of whatever political world that you're part of. Make sure that you let your voices be heard. Don't be afraid. Don't stand back and be timid, but go to those school board meetings, speak up. County commissioners, city council meetings. Let your voice be heard because our voices is so important, and they become louder and louder even though they don't want to listen to them. They become louder. So to all of you, thank you for everything that you do, and I respect all of you. I do. The profession is wonderful, and what we do for our children and our families, our society, just by educating our children then it's remarkable. So once again, Tamika, thank you, NCAE. Keep doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Much appreciated love and respect. And to our audience watching us tonight, you can catch us right here next week, next Tuesday, for another episode of Tuesday with Tamika. And of course, if there's a topic or a guest that you would like for us to have a conversation with on this platform, you can email us at tuesdayswithtamika@ncae.org. So again, I want to thank Representative Linda Cooper-Suggs for being on with us tonight, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.